Hi guys, welcome back to Ruck and Roll Rugby. Thanks for joining me again, and I want to thank everyone for the support. The channel's growing. It's amazing. Lovely to see everyone, putting some comments down there for me to respond to, and I try to reply as much as I can. Today's video is all about the All Blacks. What kind of team could they possibly be featuring this weekend against Australia? Now keep in mind, Jason Ryan mentioned today in the press that they're gonna have to be a little bit brave here, in the sense that yes, they've got a good record beating Australia in Australia, but we know how it is with the Better Slow Cup, and at the same time they're running out of opportunities to kind of give everyone in the squad a chance to prove themselves before the final World Cup squad is decided. This, gives you the inclination that I think this week Foster and and his coaching staff is going to go for a bit of a different, team. I think they're going to be brave and they're going to put a team up almost similar to what South Africa has been playing with the team. I think they are ready to play with the team a bit this weekend. That might give Australia opportunity, and it might make this game really, really close between these two teams. I mean, if you just have to go through the team, so you think of props, Joe Moody hasn't had an opportunity. He's still up in the running for this World Cup. He still wants to play. He's still in there for this World Cup. You've got, your challenge around your locks, where you've got Retallick, you've got Scott Barrett, you've got Retallick, and you've got Whitelock there. What decisions do you make there? Do you put in Retallick, give him some game time? They need to decide which guys they're going to give the game time there to. That's the more experienced guys, and then you can't forget, about Josh Lord and Vai. That's also still need to get their game time. So it's going to be interesting. Maybe they'll put on the young locks a bit. I do believe they'll probably play Retallick in this game, but we'll see what they eventually go for. And then if you start thinking of loose forwards, I was quite surprised to see all the loose forwards. As I read through the names of the squad, I was like, ooh, yeah, the Ethan Blackadder, how good was he last year? He's barely had an opportunity, this year yet. Papa Lee, we know how good he's been. Those guys have got to get a run. Finau, all those guys are going to have to get a run this week. And then looking at scrum offs, I mean, Roy Gard has not had any opportunity. He's in the squad, so he'll probably get his opportunity this week. And then I think, I think these guys will probably start. I think they're going to probably give these guys, a lot of new guys, probably a run this week against Australia. Then looking at your fly off, I think they're going to play Damian McKenzie, give him the start this week. And then, of course, Anton Leonard-Brown is still in there. David Havili is still in there, that needs to get opportunity. Enoch could still get an opportunity. So they might be, between those guys, fielding those guys and putting one on the bench. They all still haven't had the opportunities. And then, your wings, Narawa and I can never pronounce this perfectly. Fina Anuku. He's also been brilliant. Fina Anuku's been brilliant last year. He played really, really well at the end of the year tour. There's some guys that's put their hands up last year. Also the likes of Papa Lee was really good last year. Ethan Blackadder was outstanding last year. So, you start bringing these guys still into the mix, you might see a totally different story still. And, even more guys, you might also see a Clark get a start this week on wing. In my opinion, this is going to be a very young team. They might put a little bit of, experience in here and there. But I think for the most part, it's probably going to be a pretty young side that they'll put in. Not a young side as such, but a less experienced side than what you used to from the All Blacks. And it's going to be interesting to see who they'll make the captain, if they're going to want to experiment like this, or if they decide on certain guys still to keep them, or do they go with a whole new kind of combination in teams with all kind of new options on the team. You can imagine just a back line of McKenzie, Leonard Brown, Havili, Finanuku and Naroa or Clark. That's already a totally new setup, and maybe give some of those other guys some rest time on the bench so that they also don't unnecessary injure players. Then if you look at the loose forwards, you can imagine there could maybe be a Blackadder and a Papali in your loose trio, and you might be looking also at your locks being maybe young guys instead of the older guys. So Retallick could also he'll probably be back in this week. He might even be the standing captain, unless they're gonna maybe keep someone in like, I think they'll keep Sam Cane out. I don't know if they might play Sevilla, but Sevilla also needs to be rested. Maybe they give Retallick, the captaincy for the game. I don't know how brave they're going to be, but I've got a feeling they're going to be pretty brave. I think for most teams, they're not too concerned, I know after the Springboks losses, they were still like, they wouldn't have changed the thing. Jacques Nienaber said that, obviously they made mistakes with some of the selections, but that's why they did it. They were not too concerned about it. And I think that experimenting will now start happening with the likes of the All Blacks as well. I think definitely for the Wallabies, they'll try and feature the best team they can, because they'll feel they haven't really proven themselves yet. So they will want to try and field the best team. But I think for the likes of All Blacks, they might say, look, we just give everyone a go. And if we lose this game, then, it is one of those, but at least they got to test all the combinations on the field. It's going to be interesting to see when the announcement comes out this week. I'm pretty excited for it. I think it would be super interesting if they actually filled all these players that I've just mentioned, just so that we can see how new combinations will do on the field. You might find that after this game, you're like almost similar to what the Springboks have currently, where you're like, oh, now I've got a selection of 3 wings that's all playing well, so which one do we pick now? It's problems to have, but it's good problems to have. So it's going to be interesting to see now. Hopefully they'll go with a lot of the guys that haven't played, and we'll be able to see some interesting new combinations. What do you guys think? Hit me up in the comments. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, you know what I ask. I always ask the same thing. Red button, subscribe. And I will catch you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.